But what do you get? I get the two best friends a girl could ever ask for.
And just like that, the summer was gone. So many years later, I can still remember every detail, every feeling, and every friendship, like it was yesterday. No matter how far we all drifted, I would never forget any of them. Alice Hargrave, my childhood friend, moved away the next year when her father took a job in Cincinnati. Dwight went on to marry Mary. And to this day, they still live in Millwood.
Love is all around us. It surrounds us everywhere we
So yes, this is the underground house, and we have lots of visitors every year coming.
As for Joe's friends in New York, with the new Civil Rights Act, Abby, Harold, and Loretta all got moved to indoor jobs. And just in the nick of time, because that August in New York was a hot one. Luckily, Felix didn't mind working under the sun. Sometimes it even reminded him of the night sky. Junior never ended up coming back to school that year. Instead, he fell in with the rough crowd. They called themselves the Roach Gang. While everyone else was at the arcade, Pat was home alone with the baby. Only, he wasn't entirely alone. Unfortunately, my brother wasn't gone for good. In fact, he plagued our town for many years.
What should we name her?
Randy. Randy Roach. It's got a nice ring to it.
Randy Roach. Whatever you say, Jimmy.
Only he had taken a new name to pursue his life of crime. The next week, Bobby left for New York City. His father was getting older, and after that night, he was never the same. The shock of it was too much for Thomas to take. Later that year, he died of a heart attack and was buried beside Francis. As for Alan Alvarez, he turned the arcade into a booming business. Kids from Attaway, Millwood, even as far as Crown Lake, came to play his games. And eventually, he and I fell in love. We lived in Attaway forever after. With her family and friends split in different directions, my friend Joe Chambers wasn't quite sure what to do. She had always been strong-willed and independent and wary of authority. But in the end, Joe was just Joe. She had had enough of Attaway, and not long after, she took a bus to who knows where. I used to get postcards from her from all over. Oklahoma, San Francisco, even one from France. Eventually, I had to move on from Joe Chambers. I was no longer 14 years old.
How are you feeling, Grandma?
And before I knew it, I had a 14-year-old of my own.
I know it must be hard going through Grandma Kathy's stuff. Anything you want. It's yours.
For my beloved Monica to read when I'm gone. Love, Grandma Kathy.